that introduction. I could hear the cowbells calling everyone in, so great to see everyone. Allow me first to recognize a few individuals today in the audience. Mr. Chan Chun Singh, Mr. Lim Bun Heng from Temasek, Mr. Rajiv Peshwaria, and the board of Stewardship Asia Center. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Ayala Group and the Zobel de Ayala family, thank you for this honor to share our story of fostering stewardship for the enterprise, our employees, and the many stakeholders that we touch. My father, Jaime Augusto, and my uncle, Fernando, speak highly of the Stewardship Asia Center. We hope to be your partner in advocating for stewardship both in the Philippines and in the broader region. Before anything else, perhaps I can provide an overview of Ayala Corporation. Established in 1834, Ayala is a diversified group based out of the Philippines. What started out as a partnership between two ambitious gentlemen, Domingo Rojas, who was a liberal-minded capitalist, and Antonio de Ayala, an overtly religious banker, has become a company with interests in real estate, financial services, digital solutions, renewable energy, and recently healthcare as well. Throughout our 188-year history, our portfolio has evolved, but what has remained constant is our commitment to align the corporation to the developing needs of the Philippine customer, community, and country. It is through this commitment in creating shared value for all stakeholders, where we see the corporation increase in value to many people over time, including our employees, the communities we serve, our partners, and of course, our investors and shareholders. Our founders, Domingo Rojas and Antonio de Ayala, both of you should see both of them on the screen there, recognized that there was tremendous opportunity in investing in businesses that address the needs of a developing country. However, I have to give credit to the succeeding generations of family members who formalized this sense of creating shared prosperity through their own unique contributions to our investment thesis. It was Domingo's daughter, Margarita, who incidentally was Antonio's wife, who recognized that access to credit was fundamental to catalyzing entrepreneurship in a developing economy. She applied for the very first banking license in Southeast Asia. And today, that institution is known as the Bank of the Philippine Islands, one of the largest financial institutions in the country. Ayala Corporation's purpose today has the fingerprints of that first generation of family members. That long-term outlook that Domingo, Antonio, and Margarita had in investing in transformative businesses, coupled with an awareness that communities and customers are deeply interconnected, reflected a deep understanding of stewardship, which was perhaps an idea far ahead of its time back then. Through succeeding generations, investments in industries critical to national development continued, quietly becoming Ayala's business philosophy. These principles were eventually formally prescribed to all family members in a constitution that was written by Mercedes McMicking, a sixth-generation family member. In her letter, Mercedes stated that all family members should consider themselves as stewards of the institution. I'll never forget the words that she wrote, encouraging all family members to ensure that Ayala will remain a stable institution that will always be relevant and responsive to the country's needs. While Mercedes McMicking's words in our family constitution codified the principles of how we act, my father, Jaime Augusto, and my uncle, Fernando, officialized this into a purpose statement for the company. That purpose is for Ayala to be the most relevant, innovative, and enduring Philippine-based business group that enables shared value and prosperity for the many stakeholders that we serve. Quite a powerful statement. Through this statement, we hope to communicate who we are to those that we interact with. To our employees, that they would know what we stand for, and that we would be able to recruit and engage like-minded peers to solve the burning pain points of Filipinos. To our communities, that we will always be their trusted partner in addressing their needs and achieving their aspirations through affordable, accessible, and quality products and services in the country. And of course, how could we forget, to our investors and shareholders, that they would know the standards and tenures by which we want to be measured. That true value is not just about share prices and profits, but also by how much we're able to improve the lives and enrich the lives that we touch. We believe that this statement and what it communicates to stakeholders captures the essence of stewardship, creating value by integrating the needs of stakeholders, society, future generations, and the environment. And we believe that this purpose likewise encapsulates stewardship values of interdependence, having a long-term view, creative resilience, and ownership mentality. For today, I will describe how we proliferate these principles across the organization, as well as share subsequent actions on how we practice stewardship in our businesses. We've already covered the importance of company leadership sending a strong message that the organization should embrace stewardship. As we executed our shared value initiatives, we have also found that harnessing diverse teams and encouraging them to collaborate was hugely important to this mission. To illustrate, unlike other diversified groups, Ayala operates much like a federation of highly independent companies. Our holding company, Ayala Corp, does not mandate specific growth targets or force synergies between subsidiaries, although we do encourage it a lot. However, this federal governance structure gives Ayala Corp a significant role in influencing how our business units should conduct themselves in executing their own strategies. We exercise our influence through the many centers of excellence existing within Ayala Corporation. With our purpose as a guardrail, these specialized teams champion a common agenda, build capabilities, and create a culture across our group on topics such as sustainability, innovation, and data analytics. These centers of excellence are also guided by high-level councils that constantly reinforce shared value principles. Some of these councils include our Group Management Committee, composed of all the CEOs of the group, a digital roundtable where top and mid-level leaders dialogue about digitalization and explore synergies between each other, and several functional councils covering HR, innovation, sustainability, risk management, among others. These diverse and collaborative teams within Ayala have been responsible for some of the most innovative and meaningfully impactful businesses and projects across our group. We have had many examples over our long history, but I will focus on two recent ones: our healthcare company, AC Health, and our energy subsidiary, Asen. Regarding AC Health, it is a strong example of how aligning to a national agenda can put an organization in a position to create tremendous shared value. Healthcare is one of the fastest growing industries in the country, while being one of the most ripe for disruption. And several signs have pointed to this. First, Filipinos are now investing heavily in their health. In 2020, total health expenditures for the consumers had already reached nearly 900 billion pesos, or around $6 billion, across hospitals, clinics, pharmacies, and diagnostics. However, there are glaring inequities in financing. Many Filipinos continue to incur high out-of-pocket spending for their health needs. As much as 45% of healthcare spending is done out of pocket. There are also significant manpower and capacity issues. To serve our huge population, which by the way is over 110 million people, we only have 110,000 hospital beds. Only 40,000 practicing doctors. And nearly 90,000 nurses. These numbers all fall well below the WHO standards. We established AC Health to address these gaps through an integrated ecosystem, providing accessible, affordable, and quality healthcare. we invested over 10 billion pesos, or nearly $200 million, in generic drugstores, clinics, hospitals, pharmaceuticals, and most recently, health tech. These resources became extremely helpful when the pandemic struck, with AC Health delivering significant value for patients, government, and even our investors. AC Health was a constant presence across Ayala's priorities for protecting employees and supporting our economic partners and the community at large. It built out testing labs, it converted hospitals to COVID referral facilities, and was among the first to import COVID treatment medicines. When the vaccines arrived, it implemented the COVID Shield program in collaboration with a lot of other Ayala companies. It established 30 vaccination sites, mostly in Ayala land facilities. It worked with AC Analytics, our data science division, to monitor COVID trends and make data-informed recommendations on managing the vaccination sites. It also worked with Globe Telecom, a partner of Singtel in the Philippines, to develop telemedicine solutions to help patients schedule vaccinations and medicine deliveries. All in all, AC Health administered over 770,000 vaccines, eventually becoming one of the largest private sector administrators of COVID vaccines in the country. And significantly, AC Health has also been a key player in Task Force T3, a public-private coalition that worked on a comprehensive COVID response. Building on the significant trust and goodwill coming out of this project, Ayala became a member of a private sector advisory council recently established by the Philippine government. AC Health leads the healthcare reform subcommittee, while Ayala Corporation actively participates in the job generation subcommittee. The investing community has also taken notice of AC Health's thesis. Last year, the IFC invested $100 million in what is the Philippines' first healthcare-focused social bond. We have tied an impactful financing instrument to actions that would greatly improve healthcare outcomes. The funds will be used to develop the Philippines' first dedicated cancer hospital, as you can see on the screen, expand AC Health's network of primary and multi-specialty care clinics, and accelerate the exciting digital health initiatives that we're going to be taking on. Let me now talk about our energy subsidiary, Asen. Inspired by the Asian Development Bank, it recently completed the world's first Energy Transition Mechanism, or ETM. The ETM will enable the early retirement of a 246 megawatt coal-fired power plant by 2040. Although Asen would be reducing the 50-year operating life of the plant by half, it would also be able to recover 7.2 billion pesos, or nearly $120 million, that can now be reinvested into renewable energy. The ETM resulted in a win-win solution for several stakeholders. For Ayala, this brings us closer to our goal of net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. The coal plant's existing customers will also have continuous electricity supply until the plant's decommissioning and the energizing of new renewable sources. For banks and investors, existing coal exposure was converted into an ESG-driven investment that can generate healthy returns as well. For the coal plant's employees, a just transition was guaranteed. We will provide our staff with skills retraining. And lastly, for the community, the facility's early shutdown will result in up to 50 million metric tons of avoided carbon dioxide emissions. This pioneering ETM transaction also provides a blueprint that other coal plants can adopt to responsibly transition their facilities towards cleaner alternatives. What we believe is the ETM's most compelling feature is that it achieves a fundamental stakeholder aspiration. It not just simply by trading the polluting asset off our books, but by extracting and delivering the value to all our stakeholders over time as we replace the coal plant with other sustainable, renewable sources of energy. So to wrap things up, we have found that embracing stewardship as a principle and practice is meaningful and effective, and it's an effective way to operate an enterprise and increase its value over time. Integrating and serving the interests of a diverse set of stakeholders, whether that be employees, customers, investors, or the environment, is hugely important to ensuring an institution's relevance and longevity. Shared value and stewardship remain parts of Ayala's history and identity, which was carefully developed by several generations of employees and family members. It certainly did not happen overnight, and there were many lessons that we've had to learn along the way. We have found that for stewardship to be institutionalized in large organizations, it is crucial for leadership to send a strong message, to have a committed cross-functional team spread this message, and to see this message actualized through innovative and impactful initiatives, such as what we did with AC Health and Asen. Once again, on behalf of the Ayala Group and our family, we thank you for this unique opportunity. We offer our story and the lessons we learned in hope that they would be helpful for our dialogue today. Looking ahead, we at the Ayala Group certainly look forward to collaborating with all of you in creating a collective, better future. Thank you, and good afternoon.